Today we're going to talk a little bit about the concept of review. Now, reviewing in English conversation or reviewing in an English course. Now, there was a concept that I'd learned when I was trained, and it was review is from day one, lesson one. Actually, year one, day one, lesson one. And this means that if you have a student, for example, that is in their third year of formal study at junior high school, you would actually be reviewing in many different contexts the language that they learned the very first time that they were exposed to English or the first time that they had a lesson. And you don't know exactly what they learned, so it's very useful if you do have some information on their prerequisite knowledge there. Now, there are different ways that you review. As you go through your assigned curriculum, you're assigned a textbook. And in the Japanese school, as I mentioned before in other segments, the Japanese tend to treat English lessons in a thematic and episodic way, where they will concentrate on one particular pattern and it's not adequately revisited throughout the course. So what you need to do is basically look at the entire year plan. What are you going to be teaching? And also, at the same time, look at the knowledge that they've already acquired, the prerequisite knowledge. And that's an important part in your planning. Now, what you want to do is, well, in previous segment we talked about the self-introduction. Now, I had made a self-introduction paper with a number of different easy-to-produce patterns that would cover what they learned or would correlate with what they learned throughout the year. And it's very important to have a constantly expanding, growing type of document like that. You might make situational dialogues based on English that they learned 2 or 3 months prior, and that would be one way to review. Another way to review is by taking a poster or a book with a nice colorful picture and simply asking the student, okay, tell me anything in English. Tell me anything in English about this. And they would use English that they already know. And that would be very small part of review. And it's important to take about, in a 50-minute class, to spend as much as 5, if necessary, 10 minutes in a review session. And they can see how they can incorporate what they already know and use a new pattern in using language they already know. So, for example, they might have learned simple verbs like run, jump, swim, sing a song, and I do try to use phrasal verbs whenever possible, drive a car, and the pattern that they want to learn today, the grammar pattern, might be I can do something. Nani ga dekimasu ka in Japanese. I can drive a car. I can sing a song. So that's all part of review because they've already learned the verbs. And a lot of teachers forget about the review. For example, Lesson 2 of the Japanese junior high school book has a strange pattern. Are you Ms. Green? Are you Miss Green? And students are confused by it. They don't know. We've never done that before. And I said, well, but wait a minute. You have. You have. You've learned what's your name, and this is simply the yes-no version of that. What's your name? My name is Sarah Green. Change that to a yes-no pattern. Are you Ms. Green? So it's not something completely foreign to them. But I think that review is essential to keep the language moving. There are many different ways of review that you can do. And people think of review of as an activity at the end of the lesson, like the last 5 minutes of the lesson. What did we learn today? Of course, we still do that, but it's very important to draw on what they already know. Students like to practice speaking language that they already know. They feel confident to do that. But if you don't go back and do that, they will have no motivation, and they will treat each part of English that they are assigned as something that they have to learn that day and remember it up until the test, and they'll forget it forever because they'll have no motivation to learn it. So as a review structure, you need to make a good review structure in your lesson. Make activities that last a full year, constantly incorporating the new language. And always remember that review is from day one, lesson one. There are many outside activities, for example, nationalized testing, that aren't part of the curriculum. This also gives them a chance to review the language they already know. So good luck on review.